Welcome back. This is Modern Adulting. Here we discuss all the things that you weren't taught about being an adult, including finance, money, investment, those kinds of things. We wrapped up the credit series. If you haven't checked out that, go check that out because that's like the best foundation. So today, go on what I've been learning so far and what has kind of come up in my life that I found really fascinating, I think will help you. So we're in for another round of lockdowns, and it has been a quite bothersome narrative for sure. I definitely don't appreciate this patch, this event update by the game devs who run this world, but gotta make the best of it. You gotta play every hand. You know, the biggest thing that this has opened my eyes to, something I already knew, but more now than ever, I can really feel it. And that is the myth of money. Money is just not real. It's a grand illusion, a mystical spell. Very useful spell, though, I have to admit. See, we're taught by popular media, our peers, our family, that money holds this very high kind of place in our lives. It dictates so many things, and a lot of our lives is spent trying to figure out how to get more of it. And there is always a cliche that money isn't everything, money doesn't, bring happiness, etc. But, deep down inside, us without money always want to, figure it out for ourselves. Like, money won't bring happiness, but, let me get it first and decide. The thing is, it's all an illusion. Money definitely does not have intrinsic value of itself. I mean, that's obvious, right? It's just paper. But in my situation, specifically, being kind of locked up here for the past couple months, not really able to go outside, not able to travel, not able to see friends. I run a business. We've been growing, we've been busier than ever during COVID. And I mean, that's great. That's really great. And we're really fortunate. And I'm happy about that. But as much as the coffers have been being filled, as much as we grow and we reach milestones we have never, I never even thought was possible last year, there's the stark realization that all those zeros in the account now just mean less because there's not as much you can trade for it. There's not as much you can get for your dollars now that you can't go out to a restaurant and have an experience. So that really, not that that's the only thing, going out, having an experience, traveling home to see my parents who are older. So I don't want to, put them at risk in this whole, craze. And I love traveling overseas. I love doing all these things and I just can't do it. We have a lot less options now. And so it's really made it obvious that money was only as good as the experiences that it could buy us, that it could enable. So what is it really? What is this thing? Me coming from an immigrant background, my parents always made me feel like, to put money on a pedestal and that everything I should do, everything that I should aspire to as I go to school, think about businesses, etc., is to figure out how to get more money, how to get more cash. And that's a real poverty mindset. I think you have to, now that you realize I've given the game away, that this money really isn't anything. It's real. It represents something. The whole point of the spell is to somehow convince people to work and produce things of value. It's set up that way if you really look at the system, and that's why you should subscribe to this channel, because we'll really talk about the nitty-gritty really give the game away here. I really even hope this channel doesn't get that big. I just really want those people who can really see behind the veil and take advantage of it, just like people who can be really effective. I want this to help them because I know it will. I know discussing things like this might be difficult for the masses to palate, because it's hard to hear. Like, it's really easy to think, just work my 9 to 5 and get this cash and everything will be okay. But when you are a higher level player, when you can take on that existential knowledge of the virtual nature of money, I think you can make more interesting plays and get the most out of life, get the most out of this experience, because we're here for a short time, and the real value that you have is your time and your experience. So maximizing those things should always be driving your decisions more than anything, not money. And so when people ask me advice, they see the things I've accomplished, the money I've been able to accumulate. I always tell them that they should always figure out that thing that they would pay to do. They would, that experience that they would just find the most fulfillment out of, that gives them a challenge, that brings them satisfaction. Because when you do that, you add value to it, and your attention, your focus, the things that you add to that thing that you're really passionate about bring the value. They bring the intrinsic value. Somebody who has money would much rather have something that someone who is passionate produces, because it's paper versus life force energy. You can see that. That's what you want. And the fact that you are able to even trade that for paper is just mystifying. It is really magic. So bottom line, what am I trying to say here is to not get caught up in this spell. If you hear anything that I've said, please remember that money isn't everything. In fact, it's nothing. And if you focus on what kind of value do you want to add to the world yourself, what kind of experience do you want to have with your life, what would really make living worth the effort for you, that's what you should really be going for. Otherwise, you are being used. And money has long been the tool of people more imaginative, who know the value of their time, right? Who would never be caught selling their time for such little gain as paper, etc., when they have a wealth of ideas and real value to give to the world, right? Focus on that. What is your thing, your talent that is inside you? You can see that you need to share with the world, and leverage money to use other people's time who are willing to sell it. Let them sell that time to you, since they're not, subscribed to modern adulting and haven't got this game. But that is like the real use of money when you think about it. Once you realize the real use of money here, then sure, you are living in this system. It's very useful. You do need money, and it's very useful to get things for it, get services. Yes, but don't get caught using your time in something that isn't growing you, that you aren't enjoying. First of all, you don't enjoy at all, but also isn't growing you as a person, your skills, your character. Don't use your time in that, because that exchange, you're really giving your time, and that's so valuable. So if you get back very valuable experiences, if you get something back that enriches you as a person, then that is worth way more than the $15 an hour that you might be getting. Because you can turn around and take that experience and use it to really add things of value to this world. Your creativity, your uniqueness, etc. Alright, I'm starting to sound like a Disney Channel movie, but it's all true. Disney was all true. They were talking the truth. I thought it was baloney, but they really know what they were talking about. Follow your heart. Don't chase the money, chase the dream. And you're going to be okay. So this was Modern Adulting, coming back at you with this off-the-cuff video. I hope you liked it. We're trying things here. And let me know what you want me to cover next, topics, etc. I'm gonna just start trying to upload more, shooting them a bit more off the hip, and hopefully we can start a more broader discussion about adulting. Thank you. I'm out.